Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We are watching the Reiko EMS 1. We are in fall 2013 and we are going to see a round 2 game of the second cup for EMS. So this is Fnatic who is up against Team 1. And before I'm going to let my co-caster, who by the way is Vikramont, welcome back, I'm going to let you talk yet because the draft's going on so fast. I really still want to show you the brackets though, because they have been updated and they are quite cool and neat and stuff. And here they are. So we see that like not every game is ended yet. That's why we just continued on with Fnatic. We're seeing 1 versus Fnatic, 1 who was of course waiting for the winner of Fnatic versus DPWZ. And we also see that 3D Max is able to win against Game Agents. So that game will be going on as well. Of course you can watch all the games inside the game client and some of them have casters. Unfortunately not every game has casters because there are 4 games going on at the same time. That's our well, luxury issue, I guess, maybe in a way. Anyways, the semifinals and finals are going to be played tomorrow, and I'm going to be removing this one so that you see the draft again, because of course you want to see the draft. And hello, welcome back, Vikramont.
Hi. Yeah, the first time I was like, oh no, because I was eating a muffin.
Oh.
But I'm good now. I'm
good.
I've eaten most of the muffin. A small
I'm
portion
jealous.
remains.
Jealous. I was planning on making muffins, but then I ended up making cookies instead.
Nice. I'm so scared of baking. Baking's way too hard for
Oh,
me.
it's all like
too top tier.
easy things that I make.
No, oh, well, still. Baking just fundamentally is really hard, I feel like. I don't know. I have trouble with it.
Well,
Either way, Fnatic, I think both teams have pretty good lineups. Lifestealer, a hero that we don't typically see drafted this highly anymore, but certainly he's never really a horrible pick because he does have that fundamental, very, very strong aspect to him where
Rage is just an extremely strong spell. He's a good laner, does great damage. There's a number of effective builds with him. And obviously OD is somewhat similar, where OD is rarely just going to lose, especially when you take out 2 very strong responses to him in the form of the Viper and the Razor to ensure that the OD will be able to dominate a lane. So you can already see basically one strategy is just to have solid core heroes that are difficult to hold down so that they know that they can farm effectively early on and dominate sort of the mid game.
yeah, I have to say, Viper ban. They worry about Viper against OD, of course, but I haven't seen it in ages. I wouldn't think like Fnatic would ban out a lone druid up against them, right? In this case.
It's certainly very costly to ban out 2 counters to OD and leave a lot up. That said, it's not like Fnatic don't love Viper, right? They're like the only team that plays Viper.
True. We might still have a lone druid though up against that OD. I mean, we have seen that before as well as actually we have seen a couple of heroes up against that OD. I like Team 1's lineup. It's pretty stacked in terms of course. Did I just say Shadowfiend out loud, by the way, or did I actually not say that out loud? That Shadowfiend might be up against?
Well, let's just say you did.
I really thought it's getting later, I can tell that. And also can tell that I haven't had time to really eat something yet, so the focus kinda is, you know, failing slightly. But I like the lineup from Team 1. I mean, they're obviously the underdog in this game. And I'm really curious to see how they do. I love their lineup. It's basically saying, you know what, we know that we're not gonna be able to really outplay maybe you, so we're gonna outdraft you. We're gonna have strong heroes, strong lanes. It's very tough to lane up against OD and actually win the lane up against the OD. Nyx, Assassin, and Rubik, 2 of the supports that can be really saving Lifestealer's ass a lot of the time, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a cookie cutter offlaner as well that can just be really safe.
yeah, they could definitely run something like, well, actually, what do you think for that? Like Clockwork? I don't know what would actually be a very good pickup for them here. It's going to be a little tricky. I wouldn't mind seeing Bounty Hunter. I think that could actually be a pretty impactful hero in this context. You can kill Bane quickly. You can even throw tracks on Weaver. Yeah, Clockwork is what Fnatic thought too, so that's a sensible ban on Fnatic's part. I also really like the Jakiro ban from Team 1, because I really think Jakiro would just tear this game open with Darkseer. Even so, it's still pretty dangerous, because Vac into Requiem, for instance, depending on how well No-Tail does mid on the Shadowfiend.
Yeah, it's pretty scary teamfight lineup. I mean, the teamfight on Team 1 definitely not bad. I like the lineup of Fnatic. I find it fairly passive though. I find their lineup fairly passive. Of course, Enchantress is going to try to make a change to that. She is the one to try and maybe roam with Bane. As we have seen Hani roaming around a lot today. He has picked up boots every game so far that we've seen. And has just been trying to make things happen, somewhat successful than others. If he's going to be a Bane with boots, I mean, so far we have seen Weaver, Darkseer, Shadowfiend, all three heroes can solo lane in theory, so it's definitely an option for Bane to try and make things happen elsewhere.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I like the Enchantress edition. I think it gives Fnatic this sort of really explosive potential. So, I don't know, I do think it's still a very dangerous position for Team 1. Fnatic, I mean, like we said, I think one trying to come up with the most comfortable laning lineup that they can, and the Enchantress pick pushes them out of the comfort zone again, because she can just, you know, blow people up.
True. Team 1 taking to their bonus time for their offlane. I mean, if we're talking about solid offlaners, Clockwork of course comes to mind as well as Nature's Prophet, but we still have heroes in the pool like Windrunner, Beastmaster, Magnus. We've seen them all before, and there can still be decent offlaners. And hey, you know what? What we've also seen before is just letting lanes open, because why not just put the, you know, put something in the jungle. Get yourself a Chen or an Enigma or something that can farm faster than Enchantress in the jungle. It's definitely an option to see here. But they have still 1 minute to think about this, and of course, even if they already know what they are going to be picking up, they might as well just take this time to think about how Fnatic is going to try to run their lanes, and how they are going to try to move, where they're going to ward, you know, that kind of stuff.
I agree. I do have to say there is another great way to do that, which is just to pause the game and
saying, "Oh my God, I have to do something for 7 minutes."
Hey. He had important things to do for 7 minutes.
For people that weren't here earlier today, that was a pun.
A pun?
Well, maybe not a pun. It was an inside joke. How do you name that? It's not an inside joke because obviously there were like 7,000 people watching.
It's a callback. It's a callback.
I don't like that word, actually.
You don't like the word callback?
No.
What's wrong with the?
Okay, well, I mean, not for that specific thing. Like callback, you use that if you want to call something back. A timber saw. I almost forgot about that offlane. And we saw that, of course, in the previous game. Fnatic knows how strong this one is.
Yep, I think Timbersaw is a pretty strong pickup here. It does give them a way to blow up Enchantresses extremely quickly when they're being annoying, and then the Enchantress dies and you're very happy. Whereas like Lifestealer, he actually is fine against Enchantress too as long as he has the rage cooldown up, otherwise it's kind of a pain to kill her. If again, you go that AUI build with the Max Untouchable, not that he invented that, I'm just saying that the approach would be very sound here to slow down the attack.
It's pretty fun also, yeah.
The problem with the Enchantress here is they did put a lot of pressure on one, but it's also pretty high risk, because now with the Timbersaw, there's like 3 people that, well, really there's 4 heroes on one that can just explode the Enchantress extremely quickly. Like Nyx Assassin, if he gets decent levels, can kill Enchantress lightning fast. Timbersaw can kill her. OD, all he has to do is toss like an orb or 2. And Lifestealer can certainly just pop rage and destroy her. So the Enchantress definitely increases Fnatic's risk profile in certain ways, and we'll see if that pays off.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, for me, it's a fairly unknown team, so I always root for the underdog because, I mean, there's nothing better just to see an ONIM team take out a big team just purely for excitement values. I don't know. Maybe I'm, you know, schadenfreude for other teams, but I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna see one on the Dire side. They're gonna have Grazine playing the Timbersaw. We see Shmabsef, like there should be more syllables in there. But we play the Lifestealer. We have Valera playing the Nyx Assassin, the captain of the squad. We have LL playing the Rubik, and then last but not least, it is Gogile who will be playing the OD, and will be probably going mid. Though I think this is actually, you know what? I think he, like, either he misclicked and actually bought 2 sets of tangos, or he actually bought 2 sets of tangos. And if he did bought 2 sets of tangos by accident, now there is a pause. And there's actually a thing, like, of course you can sell straight away and get your money back, your full refund, but only after a couple of seconds. Those seconds actually continue ticking in the pause, so right now you can't do that anymore.
So you're saying that No Tail just destroyed? He has
he destroyed his opponent
first
mid.
blood?
Basically, yeah. Just all he had to do was pause.
I mean, I don't know. If they are running, if they've opted to, for instance, run Timbersaw mid and run OD on a solo lane, it's okay to get more tangos and not get bottom.
Yeah, we have a smoke up already on the Nyx Assassin, so they want to try and make someone's life a little bit more tough. And perhaps they feel like they're obligated to do so, considering Enchantress will probably roam around a bit as well. Do you want to go over Fnatic and say who's playing what?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So, Fnatic, they've had a pretty long day, just because they had quite a long game with Kaipi, and then more games to follow up in this EMS. But No Tail going up in the mid on the Shadow Fiend. Era playing the carry Weaver role, supported by, I'm guessing this is probably going to be safe lane Weaver, although,
What's their 5th hero again? What the hell's Trixie playing? What's wrong with me here?
It's the offlaner, and it is a Darkseer.
Darkseer, yeah. So that'll probably be Trixie on the offlane as Darkseer, which leaves a safe lane tri-lane composed of Era on the Weaver, supported by Fly on the Bane, and Hani in the jungle, probably roaming quite a bit as Enchantress. We'll see if he manages to get the pure skill Harpy Stormcrafter on first spawn in the easy camp.
Okay, I kind of... Like I said, like, he is the offlaner, and he is playing, like, all the time. That was the time that I needed to think about the hero. Just saying, you were not the only one that slightly forgot it.
Right. Fair enough.
I'm saving you face here, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
So it's very common to just forget heroes for a second. Forget which heroes are in there. Let's see what shit. Oh, look at that. We've got a dragon skill. We want to see the dragon. No, we can't. Damn. No, it doesn't look well together with the overlays that I have.
Oh, it looks good on mine.
Well, yeah, you don't have
Works
overlays.
on my machine.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got ourselves a matchup: Underdog versus Fnatic. How is one gonna try and take this giant down? How is David gonna beat Goliath?
Well, Timbersaw can deal a tremendous amount of damage. You can also put Lifestealer inside Timbersaw, and if he gets some really good levels, you Timber Chain in. I do think there's this sort of mid-game window where, especially if they do manage to somehow hold down Shadow Fiend, like if they keep Shadow Fiend from being effective, I actually think Fnatic has very few tools this game to just avoid getting dominated mid-game, right? So for one, it's getting the right levels on Nyx Assassin in the very early game, and then immediately transitioning into Smoke Ganks middle. Now, Fnatic know that this is going to be the strategy, so they're going to take countermeasures. But if one hold down No-Tail, I actually think they have a nice, big timing window in which Timber, Lifestealer, OD can take an insurmountable lead. I'm not saying this will happen, but I think that's the game plan.
And of course, previous game you considered it slightly also outdrafted. Is that the same thing that you think here happened? Because
I think actually their draft's a lot better than DS does.
DPWZ, yeah, that's what you were gonna say, yeah.
Thank you. so much space being saved. Yes, their draft is better than DPZ's. I think they have several routes to put to a potential victory. I don't think Fnatic have necessarily been outdrafted, but I do think this is a much less easy grounding to just take the game than the one that they had in game 1.
Yeah, of course, one of the things that is pretty known about Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend is one of those heroes that in the mid lane, the reason he's not played, or he wasn't played, because we haven't actually seen him quite a lot lately, but he recently wasn't played that often anymore, is because if there's a Shadowfiend mid, the one thing that you do against him is gank him. Because he doesn't really have an escape, all he can do is boss mode walk away, and even that's kind of hurting him because he can't last it and he needs to get that early start. And that's something that one already with the smoke up on the Nyx Assassin I think can definitely do. They already smoke up straight away though, so either they're gonna try to find the first blood real fast with all of them, or they're just gonna smoke up for extra movement speed and get some, maybe some preventive...
It's a very early smoke. It'll run out before 000.
Before before the block will start.
Intriguing. Wonder what they're trying to do with this. If they could snipe Courier, that might be neat.
They're not gonna be able to snipe Courier. Where's the Courier gonna walk?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know about this. I mean, maybe catch No-Tail as he's heading to lane. The thing about killing Shadow Fiend at, like, 0, though, is you almost don't get that much done, because it's not like you got rid of his souls or anything, right? So
by the way,
could be okay.
We have No-Tail pinging on his tower, and for some reason, also one is just pinging on theirs. Like, they knew it. Like, they saw the pings of each other. It's interesting. But look at them say, like, they know, like, okay, you know what, we have to shut Shadowfiend down. I think they're just gonna wait for the block to happen, and then they're gonna have the mid lane working towards it. I mean, the off lane will still be there.
Sure.
Timbersaw will go towards the off lane, depending on what the rune is. The rune is actually top. It's a double damage rune for the Darkseer, which is nice.
Hani is hanging out here, though. Alright, well, here we go.
Yep,
see what
telekinesis first up on Hani, dropping him back. That's gonna be Hani first blooded. No chance for him to get away. At least they didn't get the Shadow Fiend, I guess.
Well, actually, it's great for Fnatic, I think, that they didn't get the Shadow Fiend, that Hani was there to absorb the death.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's okay. It's, No-Tail survives. The lane's very pushed in because they sacrificed their creep block for that. So, No-Tail's gonna get some free souls to start out with. Well, he missed the first last hit, but he should be able to get the next 2.
Yeah, because they have the creep wave with them right now, right? So this is...
Oh, right, yeah.
And there's another creep wave that walked past the tower, so... This is actually kind of awkward, but this is allowing OD to just last hit by himself. Like,
Yeah,
he only
sure
has to
enough.
focus on his own last hitting right now. Doesn't have to worry about anything that maybe Shadowfiend would do, although now that actually ends. It's not that
And
bad, though. Look at the
Gogile did
harassment.
get the first blood, so he got himself a lot of extra gold. Now he has his starting tangos that we talked about, and 4 branches and an L talisman. So that's 76 damage with the first Astral Imprisonment already.
Nice
Not going
to
to be the funnest time in the world for Shadowfiend.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the lanes real fast, because of course this is our mid lane OD versus Shadowfiend. We're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna probably spend most of our times here, because this is the most volatile lane I think we're gonna have. Trixie will be okay here on the bottom lane. I think he will manage to survive. In the meantime, this is a tri lane versus a Darkseer. Should be okay. Bottom lane, also I'm gonna expect Timbersaw to be living here. He should not be in any danger of dying. He did pick up reactive armor first, so no timber chain just yet. But he did manage to pick up quite a bit of experience already. But I think maybe as our oh, main prio. Look at Hani already smoking up together with a Satire as well as an Ursa. And the no-tail, actually, look at the harassment that no-tail is taking. This is a lot of harassment though. Look
It's
at
down to 1 tango, just use this salve, and Hani knows that he's going to have to be very active on this Enchantress. Here's the
clap
missed
miss.
the Hellbear Smasher clap.
and actually the Satire just vanishes because the timer ran out.
The cult of Enchantress is a pretty brutal cult to be a part of.
Yep.
Yeah, so Hani just really stealing a little bit of XP there and not getting too much done. The zoning effect will be very good though, because again they're going to guarantee some farm. Oh, nice, he got the clap, and he didn't get the last hit on the Ursa. Sorry, the Hellbear.
Yeah, of course. I mean, exactly what you're saying. No-tail, he just needs those starting souls to be able to throw out some counter harassment and just be stronger on the lane. And Hani
He has
hanging
15.
around there is well, of course, a big impact for that. Yeah, he's now got 15 souls, which is really decent indeed. He is level 3 still though, with OD level 4. But Shadowfiend making almost level 4, I guess. Just slightly behind.
Right. But overall, I think Fnatic, even losing the first blood, they're doing very well. I mean, OD isn't really winning this lane. In fact, LL has now come to try to tip the scales once again. I think both teams recognize the importance of this mid lane.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about in
Ooh.
pregame, if one win this lane, then they pretty much win the game. But if they don't
The
convincingly
Fate
win
Bolt,
the lane,
Fate Bolt! Oh my god, so close to killing him off! Whoa!
yeah, wow,
If Gogol just was having one hit for harassment, that would have been a kill.
yeah.
Or if he got in range for telekinesis, perhaps.
Definitely, he got very close, but now No-Tail is just going to bottle Crow as much as possible, and it's going to be, once again, pretty difficult for OD. While Era farms just pretty much non-stop in the bottom lane on this week.
Yeah, Era is farming up against a Lifestealer in theory, like, who's last hitting most. So far it's very even, 21 to 22 right now, so we have got 22 up on the Lifestealer, but I mean, this will be a
Smells
bit
like
of a farming
Midas.
battle.
Smells like Midas
Yeah.
on Lifestealer.
I mean, he kind of maybe even has to if he wants to try and outfarm Era. But then again, it does mean that this game might be a little bit later than you otherwise would want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the downside, of course. It's a balance that you have to weigh off. Like, which one do you prefer most? Outfarming Era or just taking early game
Radiant's
dominance?
top tower is
Right,
under
precisely. No-Tail maxed on souls, so even with all the pressure that he suffered, I think Shadowfiend is doing just fine. While Grizine, oh, they're just taking the... They didn't want this Timbersaw to make it to the regen rune. In fact, this will be a nice little rune pickup if Fly decides to take it. Yeah, not surprised that he took that. Just the extra Nightmare
Radiant's
and
top
Brain Sap
tower
ability is
is
going to be
under
nice.
attack.
In the meantime, a tier 1 tower on the top lane. Getting a harassed here, 3 heroes taking it down. There is a Darkseer rotating back, forced to rotate, of course. That level 2 Iron Shell can only do 1, but does actually have a soul ring, so he'll be fine. And he actually puts the Iron Shell on himself, no creep wave around. There will be a tower still dead. Lifestealer with the last hit.
Radiant's top
It's Midas.
tower
Pretty
has
neat,
fallen.
and that's indeed his Midas, if he wants it. If he wants it.
Well, he already has the recipe coming.
Oh, then that's a pretty good sign that he wants it.
So. Yeah, I mean, 5-minute Midas is pretty good. Of course, Era will not go Midas. He's just looks like going straight for Lincolns, unless they repeat this Hood build that Trixie did. I didn't really love the Hood build in that game, honestly. There wasn't that much magic damage that Kaipi would have thrown at them, and I don't expect Era to repeat it. I think it's more likely to just be that Lincolns.
I'm still kind
Huh,
of...
Era doing a little bit of a dive. Grizine actually in a lot of
He does have
trouble.
another Timber Chain right now, though. And actually, he is going to try and use... Oh, forces out the time-lapse from Era. It's a wise choice,
Smart
though.
of Era.
Yeah, smart of Grizine
And I mean, the
also.
thing is, Timber is forced to Fountain now.
And this might actually be hurting him more than just, you know, walking out, like, dying and respawning and coming back. Because now he has to walk all the way. Of course, he has Timber Chain to help him speed that along, but he really needs to, like, take a big break from that lane for now. And it's hurting him. Oh my god. Hello.
Stormcrafter in the mix.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. I mean, if we were thinking this was gonna go the way of OD,
Dire's
think
bottom
again.
tower
Think again. Harpy Stormcrafter in your face. Sorry.
And it's still even. 24 for 9 for No-Tail. He's doing fine, and the Stormcrafter's gonna tip the scales a little bit more. I feel like I've said tip the scales way too many times today, so that's the last time, I promise.
I actually said it as well, so it's okay.
Yeah,
But since then,
I think between
I've
the
been,
two of us, we've tipped one too many scales today.
Oh god, no, I'm not gonna say more puns, sorry.
Scales equals tipped?
No, I was gonna say something like we've tipped a scale onto saying too many tips.
No! Oh, no, please no. Era, by the way, 21 denies now. Again, I think as Weaver becomes more and more popular, like he's almost become the de facto, if you want to carry, you kind of take Weaver. You see a lot of people just really practicing the hell out of this hero, and so their farm efficiency has gotten better and better. Have you noticed that, like Resolution and Era, like suddenly the amount of last hits that a free farming Weaver gets on average in the pro scene, I feel like it's just risen. I feel like K-pop will correct me, but still.
You know who I credit that to? In the Western
Xbox?
scene? Jackal.
Okay, yeah, Jackal did a lot of work too.
Jackal's Weaver, legendary to be fair.
It was really good, yeah. And I mean, Era here, he doesn't have quite as much farm as Resolution did in that one crazy EVP game. But, I mean, Resolution also had treants to eat, so that was a big part of it.
Yeah, we've got... I mean, Era, he is building towards his link because he's not going to get a kill on Timbersaw, I think, unless Timber makes a mistake, obviously. But Timbersaw, right now, he is not going to be the Timbersaw that everybody wants Timbersaws to be with a Bloodstone and all that jazz. He's level 4 still. He's only got 6 last hits. How is this Timbersaw getting back into the game?
Well, I mean, without Arcane Boots, without any sort of tools, right now he's not very useful. I think when OD and Lifestealer are feeling a little more comfortable with their positions and they start rotating in for team fights, a great way to kickstart Timbersaw is to just be in a fight, get a couple of kills, or participate in 2 or 3 kills, and then all of a sudden, hey, you have your Arcane Boots, you have your Void Stone, and you're well on your way.
Yeah, Astral Imprisonment in the mid lane. 29 last hits for OD. I mean, he's still getting some, but compared to No-Tail right now, I mean, I just said 29 for the OD, but there is actually 44 for No-Tail, who of course had a tough start, but I think the Harpy Stormcaller helped him out a ton, and of course, Honey being
really
around
did.
there helps as well.
There's actually another one available. If Honey wants to be annoying again, he could take the next Harpy Stormcrafter and craft some more storms.
Crafting
Here comes Valera. This is actually... Will they get this? There's the Impale.
Yeah, he doesn't have any mana anymore. No-Tail just tries to run for it. And the Sanity's Eclipse comes out. Nice Astral Imprisonment, making sure that Enchantress can't really get a kill. And an Invis Rune definitely will help out for that as well. Nice pick-off, and an important one as well. The second kill of the game, up on the OD, who was doing so well for himself. He is now all of a sudden 4th on net worth on the map. And I think before that, he was actually on toe with the OD, who is now ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Fiend has 0 reliable gold, obviously, because he hasn't done anything to get any, and so yeah, he loses quite a bit of gold for that death, and important, again, their mission is clear, and that's exactly what they needed to do in furtherance of that mission. That said, I mean, Trixie has farmed just fine in this lane opposite Lifestealer. He is, I think, done with Buckler and Headdress, so Mechanism coming faster for him than it will for anybody on 1. And, I mean, it's still going to be a while before Midas Lifestealer is that much of a threat.
Yeah,
because they haven't really been stacking the jungle for him to clear with Infest.
Yeah, then he needs some ramp up time, and their OD is actually doing a good job at buying that time. I mean, he's slowing down No-Tail. That's always a good thing. The downside is Timbersaw cannot really try and help buy time. Nyx Assassin, however, he is already level 6. He's actually higher than the offlane Timbersaw. The Vendetta just walked out, but he does have an Impale ready with Ghost for creeps. Never mind that. Because I'm thinking, like, he can definitely make something happen on the map, and he can also, I think, if he's successful enough, he can transition into more than just a support.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if they can use Nyx as a counter to Enchantress and just blow her up constantly, it takes away a tremendous amount of Fnatic's ability to rotate. Oh, No-Tail in a... I think he's probably fine.
Yeah. There's Phase Boots up on the Shadow Fiend, or up on the Lifestealer, but you don't really want to dive too far. And you just want to use your Hand of Midas off cooldown, so you know that you have to go back again, and he's going to be able to use it only a second after it came back off. So it's
right.
okay.
It will give him good XP. So Lifestealer, now the highest level on the map, level 9. But Era's farming well also, and I think once one get Mechanism, they're going to try to make something more happen, because it has been a little bit sedate compared to what you'd want this lineup to be doing.
We've got actually an Infested Lifestealer sitting inside the
Fiend's Grip.
Go
Gal.
That's gonna be OD dead. But Infested Lifestealer sitting up on Valera, and he's going for the Dark Seer. Here's see if he can get some. Actually, Trixie already TPs himself home. That won't be any good. And I believe they didn't. They didn't even see that they didn't have a ward. Just wanted to go back. By the
I'd
way,
say that.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the wards. We had one also playing a sentry ward and observer. Both got picked off before they could do something against that sentry ward of their opponent.
Right. I mean, I think you correctly identified the biggest issue for one here. They've got a level 5 Timbersaw, and the opposing team has a level 8 Darkseer with Mechanism.
Yeah.
So, and they've only killed Shadowfeed once. So Valera, and he's attempted 2 Vendetta kills. Neither have gone off. Lifestealer has spent a pretty large amount of time inside this Nyx Assassin, so he's lost farming time. I don't want them to run aground, because they're going to find themselves in a very sticky situation if they don't. Because Fly is leveling pretty well. He's got his max rank Brain Sap and Fiend's Grip. We already saw Fiend's Grip lead to a kill. If Bane and Enchantress get too big for Nyx to be able to feed on with Vendetta, one really don't have that ability to just gank and take fragmentary advantages that they can use for map control.
Now, talking about map control, 4 heroes on the bottom lane for Fnatic, and looked and take down to the tier 1 tower. He goes to Chakram, trying to slow them down, but I think the tower will die regardless of how much harassment comes out here. Oh, nice deny coming off from the Timbersaw. Impale will slow down No-Till. Nice by Carapace as well, but Era still wants to do this. Brain Sap as well. Valera. Oh, Vendetta just in time. 26 HP. The Vendetta. Oh my god. Era not able to find anybody with a Chikushi. That was so close. Valera. Maybe he tries to go for a pickup. Can pick up the flag. I think he can get a kill here. He has to be careful for Iron Shells as well, though, as the Bane still goes down. Open moves now up on Hani, who didn't pick up any levels inside that enchanted. Nice. Astral or Sanity's Eclipse. It's gonna be Darkseer. That double kill going the way of the Lifestealer, and that's gonna be a team wipe. Triple kill for the Lifestealer, and oh my god, one just team wiped Fnatic. Even though Fnatic got a tower off that, they were just slightly too greedy here, and that just might have cost them, well, the early game, and maybe forced them to go for a bit more heavy farming role, because that just was a pretty big impact for one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really excellent fight for one. Era's still making pretty good progress towards his Lincolns. Like, that doesn't hold him off that much, so it's kind of a similar situation to the last one, but Fnatic don't have the inevitability this game that they had last game. So one can actually rest easy, but that did give them a legitimate advantage in this game. The question is now they need to press it. Like, that in and of itself is not enough. It did give your Lifestealer armlet. If I'm one, I just use that to go even more aggressive again and just try to get more kills. Especially, again, ones that Timbersaw can participate in. Because this is still basically a luckless Timbersaw.
Yeah, I mean, right now one is ahead and they need to take advantage of that. They need to capitalize on that, sorry for saying that word. But they can also. They have the heroes to do that with. They can set something up with the OD who has the mechanism, so you have got the fighting potential. Era in some problems, in some trouble, telekinesis and killed off. And Ownage being called here also. Telekinesis, the rage was there. And of course the Vendetta and Impale to set it all up. Nicely done, Valera. He's using his Vendettas. And this Nyx Assassin definitely starting to be more than a support in this game. His net worth is still pretty low, but I think he'll get there.
They started with lower support levels than what Fnatic were managing because Fnatic had a dedicated jungler. And now the 2 supports are ahead of Fnatic supports. Of course, they've got this enormous deficit in the 3 role. But the Nyx Assassin is definitely pulling his weight. And Fnatic, I think, are just playing a little bit tired because they have had a really long day. And playing tired against the Nyx Assassin is really rough because he's the kind of hero that punishes this sort of, like, even slight mispositioning.
Trixie, in the meantime, he has the mechanism for his team. Fnatic, though, I mean, I think they learned their lesson from the previous time. They, of course, they definitely were looking for the fight in the bottom lane. So they went all bottom and tried to take some advantage in terms of towers and gold and get some head start. But right now, they're just forced into a bit more submissive role here in comparison to one. I mean, they're just forced to stick around together a little bit. They are smoking up, however. Maybe they're trying to make something happen top, where, of course, Timbersaw, the weakest link, I think, at this point in his team of 1, is trying to get back his farm.
Absolutely. And I think
that
they give enough...
Peace grip! Grizine, you're dead. Sorry, you can continue.
No. I mean, it's unfortunate that they lose Timbersaw. They have another pick off at Era bottom, once again with Lifestealer infesting into Nyx Assassin and the gank. It's a fine trade, although they do have to have something for this Timbersaw to do, because eventually this will just become a 4v5 that becomes very difficult to handle. But so far, I mean, they're getting kills, which is good. They still haven't really converted it into towers. Here comes a big TP.
Can they get an open
catch
wounds?
Fly?
Is level 4 open wounds? The Surge is there, but only up on Trixie, so Fly will be in by himself. He has got a Nightmare, only one.
Yeah.
Might try to deny himself. Actually, no, Nightmare's up on Bane, so I won't be able to deny himself. That's a mega kill streak for this Lifestealer who hasn't died yet. 502 for his kill score and sitting on 2,300 gold.
Gogile made an attempt at killing Shadow Fiend in the mid, but his Sandy's Eclipse not quite big enough to do it. No-Tail walks away, uses Bottle to come back up, and Trixie loops around just in case OD really tried to dive it. So, but still, it's a kill for one. They protect the tier 1 tower, allows them to maintain their jungle as a sort of a safe farming zone. And so I still think they're doing very respectably. The question is, how do you use this advantage to secure more of the map, reduce the farming area, and really hold this Shadow Fiend down in particular?
Well, one thing that they're doing really well, I find, is just having that control of the map in terms of wards. They are not the only team that has wards up. We have got one ward up for Fnatic, who just wants to see if someone comes into their jungle, but that's the only ward for Fnatic that there is. And there's a sentry ward mid, there's a sentry ward, of course, on the top lane that was placed earlier when they tried to gank up on the Bane. And I mean, they just have control. And they have the fear of the Nyx Assassin in them. And once again, in comes Valeera with an infested Lifestealer. This time going mid. No sentry for Fnatic in the mid lane, at least not placed. They do have them in their inventories. But let's see who they're going to be finding here. Who they want to be finding. There are a lot of heroes around here for Fnatic though. So they have to be so careful.
Almost found No-Tail.
Yeah, they'll loop around. Maybe Hani. No, it will be Era.
No,
once again. Impale, Infest out, Era dead once again. That's going to be another kill going the way of... The OD gets himself the Bane, now goes for the Enchantress. Hani is in trouble, one more hit, boom, dead as well. Double kill for the OD. 3 kills, going away for 1.
This just went from manageably bad to really bad for Fnatic, because the Enchantress is striking out, basically. He's got Tread's Bracer, he's 0-3 and 2, so he hasn't been able to generate that dynamism and the pressure on 1. Additionally, Era has now taken several deaths in a row. His Linken's has been held down probably about 4 or 5 minutes from what he would have gotten absent this pressure. So he's doing a good job of buying out just before they kill him every time, so he's only just the Void Stone away. But now that one take Roshan, they're getting that right, like they're getting the rock rolling down the hill, right? Like it's the exact opposite of the DP, whatever the hell the Russian team's name was, where like they get kills, but you don't see that like spiraling into a real advantage. Here, take an advantage, take a map objective. Then use what you get from the map objective to get kills again. Then convert that into more map objectives. That's what you need to do to win a game like this against a team like Fnatic. And one's doing a very respectable job.
Yeah, they got them also a Gem of True set up on the Nyx Assassin, so that means that they can also... I mean, even if Aaron now gets himself alive a little bit longer, he'll still get seen with the Shikushi, and they'll still be able to pick him up, or should be able to do that anyways. We also got a 4-step being built. Oh, wait a second. Valeera finds himself Trixie if he wants to go for Era's close by. Won't be able to do that, though. He's just going to run while Trixie dies. Oh, Nightmare.
Nice.
Trying to help out Fiend's grip up on the Lifestealer. Can Valeera do something? Gets put in a Nightmare himself. Takes over. The one from Trixie comes a vacuum. Down goes the Aegis. Nyx already dead. Lifestealer will get Requiem Assault. Whoa, that racks that Lifestealer. And he tries to run for it with the Rage. In comes the Chakram trying to help out, but it's not enough. Weaver with a double kill. And all of a sudden, Fnatic, they take revenge. They take home the double kill. And Timbersaw should be able to get himself out. There was just too many heroes around there. They didn't scout out enough.
I don't think it was that. I mean, yes, certainly there were too many heroes around. Nice job to get No-Tail here.
No, it's not over that. No, though No-Tail pops his BKB, and now all of a sudden OD in a lot of trouble. Still lands the Sanity's Eclipse, but it doesn't get any kills going his way. The slow is there for the Timbersaw, tries to stream chain, but misses it and will go down as well. Another kill going the way of Fnatic, and Era gets himself another kill to the board, and all of a sudden that advantage that one has built up is starting to pull back even again, and Fnatic back in the game.
That's a horrible loss to take. They lost the Aegis on that immediately after getting it. It's very, very brutal loss. It actually, for me, just came down to Nyx accidentally right-clicking the whoever had the Nightmare, Darkseer, just before the Nightmare came off. And he thought that he had the timing perfect, and because he didn't, everything fell apart in that moment, because Nyx was completely shut down. Lifestealer couldn't get anything done. They lost the Aegis, they lose the Lifestealer. They try to turn it around with the Astral Imprisonment on No-Tail, lose even more. BKB done, BKB used for No-Tail, 1,200 gold on top of it. Like, it's... They didn't... The game is not lost, but almost all of the advantage that they carefully built up is dissipated. And that's how hard it is to play against a team as good as Fnatic, because they will punish you for the slightest mess up.
Yeah, Valera, of course, he's lucky that he didn't have his gem in his inventory yet when he died. He just bought that when the Roshan died. But he'll have it now. We'll see if they can... Because right now, what did they do? You can't just sit back and just try to recuperate. No, you have to keep that aggression going. And they know that too. So they are once again infested in that next assassin. Or at least Lifestealer is infested in next assassin. The Vendetta use as well. Now Vendetta level 2, so it gives a bit more roaming time in that Vendetta. We see the minimap though, and Fnatic still being very careful. They might be able to find Fly here, however, and that would be a nice pickup for them if they find him. No Fiend Script on the board. Would be pretty nice. Rubik actually chasing them down. Trixie and Era, they of course see them. Question is who they would go for.
Yeah.
And there's
It's
still
gonna be
so many
tricky
people
because
around
now
there.
Fnatic are they're playing so much more defensively and tightly to try to maintain this sort of comeback that they're in the process of making.
Yeah.
It's smart play by Fnatic, and they're a very smart team. This is, I mean, just again, this means that for 7 more minutes, they have this advantage for Roche, and they can't leverage it at all because they lost the Aegis almost instantaneously.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for Fnatic to play this way. It's kinda, well, tough for one. How are they gonna try to still do something? Oh, they see no chill though. Of course, they have the gem, so Invisibility Rune doesn't do anything but cavalry close by. Fnatic has got all 5 heroes in the middle lane. And then comes another Vendetta. Oh, can they find someone? Can they pick someone off? He walks right past the sentry ward though. In comes the swarm.
He sees it. I mean, he's got gem.
Yeah.
Tricky. They want to counter it. Yeah, they're gonna use Rubik. Smart. He just goes.
In comes another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that was obvious.
That was kind of obvious. Nice by Carapace though. Senatus Eclipse comes in as well, but the BKB turned on by Noto, and he's just trying to wreck everything. Trixie still goes down, as does Fly. No-Tail still alive in this though, and is now trying to chase down everybody of one. Nice one for Era. Gets himself an X-Assassin. In the meantime, it will be a kill for the Lifestealer. Gets himself a bash up on the OD. Sorry, up on the Shadow Fiend that gets him picked off. Era still on the run. It's a 2-for-3 trade so far. Era, can he actually get this? There's a Shikushi also up on the Rubik, and he really wants to throw out his telekinesis, and I think he might be able to.
Yes, first stab.
Oh, Lincoln's with the Fateful telekinesis still there. Is there someone else? Is there someone else? Lifestealer, you have to do this job, but he can't do it. And Trixie, not Trixie, the other Timber Cell that we see today is going to be not fast enough to get in range. Of course, Trixie playing a Timber Cell in the previous game that we saw, so I was slightly confused.
Yeah, nice try. They are moving towards the Desolator for Lifestealer. I think this is the exact right tool for the job. Don't go too late game. Just use your Midas to make... They have this window, right? This good timing window. Make your advantage during that time window as big as you can possibly make it, and Desolator is the correct choice for that. It'll let him tear people down quickly. And I really like the obvious Nyx thing, too, because you have to think of it like, sure, they know you're going to do it, but the question you can ask yourself is, so what? Even if they know I'm going to do it, can I still get the kills? Can I still win the ensuing team fight, even if they have the right response? And I think he made the right calculation that, hey, I'm Nyx Assassin. I've got this spiked Carapace button. It's a pretty cool button.
I thought for a moment it was suicide, but ended up working out okay. I mean, Nyx Assassin has been involved in...
Era got kills. I mean, it was still a trade. Era got kills.
Yeah.
So he was able to kill the OD, for instance. But they got no tail, which I think is big, because again, Shadow Fiend is so important here. He's gone Ghost Scepter, just to show you sort of where the game is going, but he could make this into Ethereal Blade eventually. Could be useful.
Yeah, one thing also that is pretty good now also for one. I mean, the BKB is just down to 8 seconds right now. Because Noto got a fairly fast BKB, you won't have those higher BKB seconds in the later game, and that's of course very powerful for the OD, who has been like struggling most with it. Right now, Shadow Fiend will die from just the Lifestealer and his bashes, but later on you're gonna need more than that, and you're gonna need those orb effects up on him as well. So pretty big deal to have those BKB charges ticked off earlier on, as we have a smoke up behind Trixie. Maybe they're gonna try to make something happen. However, there's nobody left there for one on the top lane.
Right. Fnatic just barreling down, but there's really nobody to find here right now, except for Gogile, and he's obviously playing somewhat safe. I like this BKB for OD. It'll also give him a little bit more tankiness. The main wild card here is how quickly Era is able to catch up to Lifestealer in terms of effectiveness. Right now he's about 4k net worth behind, so that's basically one big item. And you can see that in the sense that Era, if this is indeed a Dezo, he's only part of the way to it, whereas Lifestealer has his Dezo completed. And of course he has a Basher also. If Era catches up to Lifestealer, I suddenly think Fnatic are in really good shape. But during this period, one are still very dangerous.
Yeah, it really all comes down to maybe one team fight. If one takes one more team fight, they're back on top again. If, however,
if one
Fnatic takes it,
team fight,
Era will be, yeah.
Right. One more team fight is Timbersaw's Bloodstone achieved. Oh, they know where Valera is.
Yeah, BKB
Scary.
turned on. The infest out could still happen. Nice spike Carapace. The races are there. That's going to be nice. Astro Imprisonment. Lifesteal looking for targets. Nice OD ulti as well. It will be Bane to die first. Valera will still drop. Darkseer will up as well. Trixie gets force staffed away. Will still die for one more hit, but the hit won't go through.
Nice
they go
Ghost Scepter.
for a no-tail. The Ghost Scepter is there. Is it going to be enough though? Tries to juke it through the Darkseer wall, but he'll still go down 3 for 2 as a tip. Oh, Era comes back. Era goes back and gets open wounded, but he still is able to get himself another kill added to the board. Lifestealer goes down, buyback for the Timbersaw. 4-step up on 4-step, but it looks like the Gemini attack will hit. There we go. That's gonna be an unstoppable Era. In comes the Timber, but right now, this might just be a feed. He has to get himself out of there. And this is already a team wipe. Perhaps they can get another one added to the board. Era's not gonna chase, however, but this is 5 heroes down on a set of 1. Fnatic only losing 3.
Yeah, Era, first off, the Astral Prison almost came off for OD there. Would have saved him. But so the Ghost Scepter is not about making sure No-Tail lives. He knows that he's going to die there. It's about wasting so much of one's time that Era not only has time to kill both of the supports and as many people as he wants to in the backcourt, but also ends up at a major health advantage, because Shadow Fiend, even as he's going down, he just keeps spamming those raises, and since the buff, he has that automatic Requiem of Souls right at the moment that he dies, and so that brings one so low that they can't prosecute the remaining fight against Era, who's still at full life at the end. So really well played by Fnatic, honestly a little bit of an outplay in that team fight, and one, again, they come tantalizingly close to really just, not closing it out, but taking a big advantage, and Fnatic rejects them. So Era filling out the entirety of the Desolator on the back of that fight.
Yeah, look at, I was gonna say, Era of course has a gem, so he saw Valera walking past him right now. Nobody went on anybody, so they backed themselves up. We have got indeed the Desolator up, so right now with Lifestealer and Weaver. I have to say, I'm kind of worried for one. I am kind of worried for one. At some point I thought, well, oh my god, we're actually gonna see it, but right now, they're in a tough spot, because one, and I mean I can say it in a punny way, but I won't, I try not to, but one team fight and they're actually out of this game, I feel, because then Fnatic would just be too far ahead. And they've got this mid-game lineup, Era trying to get himself away. They do see him though, time-lapse away, they don't have a gem anymore, but they really want to take it. Can they see him? Can they see him? No, they can't. What the hell? Detection,
brutal.
people, detection. And Timber Chains that hit.
They planted a sentry, but just... Weaver's really tough to catch without a gem. And they've had a gem for almost all the game. It's just they lost it during that last team fight.
Yeah.
So it's very tough without a gem.
Dire's bottom tower
In the meantime, No-Tail hitting a tier 2 tower at his leisure. He's 1500 gold in his inventory. Hasn't picked up anything since we saw him picking up the Ghost Scepter. In comes the Vendetta gank, and that should be No-Tail dead. Nice by Carapace. In comes Darkseer. In comes Era. Fiend's Grip already up on the Lifestealer. Should be enough to take him down. 4-7 to safety, perhaps. OD also with his imprisonment. Now goes for Trixie. Can he make something happen here? Walks through the wall because it's cool. Gets vacuumed back into it as well, as now we're going to see an impale up on Trixie. Nightmare as well, but he should be fine. Spike Carapace nicely done, making sure that Era cannot chase. And I think that one will be able to get away from this. And that means that No-Tail is the only one that actually died here. A lot of spells being used. Fiend's Grip, Darkseer Wall. If one finds a fight right now, they might be able to win it. Timbersaw could be... Yeah, Timbersaw could be the one to try and get the fight. He just needs to get that Timber Chain. Nope, they won't. They won't try. Oh,
Really?
Era! Lame.
Sick.
Ooh.
Big plays.
Yeah,
and
picks up
honestly,
the tower.
Trixie also, we haven't really acknowledged a lot of his big plays this game, but the force staffs have been tremendously on point. He just force staffed Bane out of what was probably an impale on him, and earlier on, he basically got an OD kill by force staffing Era close enough to land the Geminid attack on the fleeing Outworld Devourer.
Yeah.
Oh, they're chasing Era, but no. These force staffs, not as big. They plant a sentry thinking that's where Era was. Era went the other way.
Yep.
Slippery little fellow, this Weaver.
for sure, especially now that he has the gem, so he can dodge everything that he sees and instantly won. As I say that, he says, you know what, we want another gem because it was fun to have it. And that's going to be 850 gold again, going the way of 1. I mean, they already gave 850 gold away, which is actually a pretty big deal if you think about it, especially since it's coming from someone that doesn't really necessarily get that much gold. We have the gold graph sitting 2k in favor of 1 thus far, with 2.5k experience in their favor as well, but they're starting to lose control, and that shows because Fnatic just keeps coming forward and forward, and looks like they just continuously want to make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, game definitely shifting into a high action gear. Fnatic feels that they have enough on Era to really transition into being the aggressors once again. It's also important to be the aggressive team here because you want to push the other team as far back as possible to do Roshan, which with Desolator and Presence of the Dark Lord, they have the ability to clear extremely quickly, even though I don't think they have a Medallion, but it's not like you need Medallion to do Roche.
Especially not if you have got the Shadow Fiend. I mean, that definitely helps for that minus armor. Of course, we're also gonna see one. They instantly check it. I mean, like they hear us, but they also don't want to have that Roshan taken, as we know that Nyx Assassin might be in some trouble. There is no Weaver here, though. Weaver was on the other side with the gem. They did place a sentry, just in case. But it looks like we're gonna see one try to go for the Roshan. This could be a big fight, though, and I'm not quite sure if I would favor one in this one, even though they are the ones to go in. I hear myself saying one a lot, but they are the ones to go in, etc. I really don't mean to make puns. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can really blame the team for naming themselves in such a way. That, yeah.
We have a Bloodstone ready up on the Timber Saw, by the way, and we also almost have a BKB ready up on the OD.
Yeah, it's taken really, really long to get this Bloodstone up on Timber, but it's okay. I mean, now he does have that capacity. Even if he's brought down early, at least he provides his teammates a decent alternative mechanism, basically. I mean, it's actually more than a mech. Like, it's a pretty beefy heal that people don't really talk about, but additionally, of course, it gives him the opportunity to regen his mana and health quickly.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna walk right into this one. Era already looking for a target, sends the bugs one way, goes for the other. There's gonna be one Rubik completely caught out. Force-stops himself into safety, Vacuum is as well. In the meantime, from the backside side, they go for No-Chill. No-Chill already dead. Trixie taking a lot of damage, getting forced away, run, no he can't. Fiend Sweep in the meantime up on the Life Stealer, but it's already broken. And now Fly will be putting himself in a nightmare, but it won't last long, and he will go down. Handy trying to run for his life, but he can't run anymore. There was a buyback from No-Chill, by the way. He's waiting up on the high ground, gets open wounded, pops the Ghost Scepter, goes for one ulti already, hits everybody with it, but he'll go down. And nobody dies on the set of one apart from the Rubik so far. It's a brilliant fight for one. They should be able to take the Roshan off of this, and maybe even more if they get Era as well. The open wounds are there. Still getting slowed slightly when he comes out of Sakushi, but time-lapses himself to the other side of the map, and he runs for his life. Tier 2 or Roshan or both? Just Roshan.
They can't take both. They have to make a beeline for Roshan, in my opinion. They have 38 seconds with no-tail. He just bought back. They need to take a map objective. I think Tier 2, I would have been fine with them taking Tier 2 right there, but I think the Rosh is a smart move as well. Get that extra life, get that advantage in the next team fight. And that was one in which Rubik managed to waste enough of Era's time. It was actually almost better that he didn't steal Shikuchi. Yeah. And I'll explain why. I think if he had stolen Shikuchi, Era would not have pursued him. And so you would have this Weaver dealing tremendous damage in the team fight. Instead, if you were watching, he chased him all the way here. Rubik died here. And then you have a Weaver who's about 2,000 units away from the action.
Oh wow, and I actually did not see that. I thought they came back. I went back with my camera when No-Tail died.
Yeah, so Rubik managed to waste so much of Era's time that the Weaver was simply not part of the team fight. I think if Weaver is part of the team fight, even if they still have a Rubik alive, it's a much better position for Fnatic. Instead, they lost their main damage dealer, and the rest of the team wasn't able to shape up. I mean, you can call that kind of a mistake of Era, and I won't argue with you, but it's still very well played to one.
Yeah, in the meantime, Nightmare, but it doesn't matter, the Infest is there, let's already fly dead. Oh, for Trixie, Telekinesis is there, Trixie, you're dead too. Abyssal.
Not good, he doesn't have buyback.
Used. No buyback
indeed. This is starting to get a little bit out of control. Midas Lifestealer is getting really big.
Yeah, we also already have got Hani in a little bit of trouble, but he is not gonna get impaled, he TP's out.
That's important, but they still don't have Trixie. The one nice thing is Era has pushed this lane far in, and he has Dezo, so he's able to threaten the tier 2. But if I'm one, I just want to, put your foot on the gas as hard as you possibly
Yeah.
can.
And they're gonna do exactly that. They're gonna walk mid. They have sent someone top. They've sent a Timbersaw top to try and deal with the Weaver, which is a pretty
Not
tough
gonna be
matchup,
easy.
by the way. But it's at least enough to stop the push from happening, I think. The tier 2 tower mid will go down because without the Darkseer, they won't try to fight. Sorry for the cat sounds.
Middle tower
Diego's getting hyped, man.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
Oh, Era forced to time lapse. So yeah, he won. Timbersaw won. He didn't kill. He was never gonna kill Weaver, but
No.
they trade tier 2 for nothing.
And that's, of course, always worth it.
It absolutely is worth it. This is getting a little scary for Fnatic. Era's big, but right now Lifestealer is far bigger.
Actually,
Yes.
this could be pretty big if they actually win.
It would be quite an upset.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the most consequential game you'll ever see in your
True.
life. I mean, it's just one of the cups. It's not the playoffs, but it'll be a. I mean, how good would you feel as one if you beat Fnatic here?
Insanely good. I would not be able to sleep. Like, Blink Daggers, by the way, all around. Wow. There's a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin. And
Fnatic aren't feeling comfortable. This Blink Dagger is like a variance play, right?
Yeah.
Variance / escaping from like really scary situations, but not. This Shadow Fiend is really getting close to just walking magic damage, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten a damage item this game, period, unless you count treads.
I don't count treads.
Yeah. That
Just
was
saying.
the-
In case
Oh.
anybody was wondering, Blink forward,
Era?
goes for an Impale. Era,
Where's the
stuck in
Abyssal?
position, nice by Carapace, gets put in a Nightmare still, the bug's still up on Valera. That might be another gem, he will go down, Fiend's Grip used for that, and that's gonna be the gem's gone again.
Lose the gem.
Big pickup in the meantime from the backside.
Oh,
In comes
no.
the OD. Goes for the Astro or the Sanity's Eclipse. Goes down. Gem on the floor. As Lifestealer tries to take down the Darkseer. Darkseer does go down. Era. There is another gem again. This time it's up on the OD who tries to run away from Tahani. He can't though. The gem on the floor again. Rubik, pick up the gem. Someone pick up the gem. Nobody picks up the gem. Blink forward from no-till. Goes for the wreck.
Nice.
Gets bezeled. Gets bashed. And there he still gets the kill, of course, with his latest Requiem of Souls. Still a 4-on-4 trade. Again, though, Era lives, and the gem is on the floor.
Oh, it is on the floor. Nyx pings it. Are they gonna do Secret Agent Timbersaw to get this gem?
Or a Secret
Oh,
Agent
Connie
Greedy
pings
Riffle.
it too. The courier's coming. Courier's gonna win. No chance for Timbersaw.
Radiant Courier is gonna win, yep, with the haste. I can't believe that this
snipe-
panda flies so fast. I
This
think he got
panda is
increased
bad.
in size or something.
Ah, yeah, the courier's got it. Oh, brutal. Losing that gem is a huge deal because Era, he's godlike streak, right? He was wasn't he like 2-4, 1-4. Now he's 10-4.
Yeah, it's insane. He hasn't died in a while. He's level 24, which is the highest level on the map. Of course, closely followed by Lifestealer because of his Hand of Midas. Able to get to level 23 at this point. But those two are actually so far ahead of everybody else because we got level 18 as our third highest. So that's quite insane level difference that we have there. And of course, Lifestealer has an excuse in terms of he has a Hand of Midas. However, Era does not. This is just kills and just not dying that got him to this level.
Yep. I definitely think that Era has really stepped up and done extremely well for his team here. It's just, it's actually becoming quite a dilemma for one as to how they manage to actually make sure that they kill Weaver in a fight, because Nyx, keeps getting spotted out and killed just before he lands his combo. Smoke gank is their next try at bite at the apple. They can smoke gank into a Vendetta and try to bait onto the Timbersaw or something, but Era smells a rat. Yeah, he immediately peels off. He's got his Manta style. This is I think the main thing here is to remove open wounds off yourself so that Lifestealer just can't lifesteal off you. There's a couple other useful things that it can do also. I mean, obviously it helps this push even more.
Yeah, we still have Fnatic pretty, well, clumped up, as in they don't want to be really going out too much by themselves, because indeed one hero picked up might just open the doors for one to try and make something happen again, and so far they have been able to just respond very well to, if Fnatic makes a mistake, they have been able to take advantage of it, so Fnatic has to stay careful. We do, however, have Fnatic back in this game. The gold graph still very far in favor of one. It's going towards the 8k, with the experience graph towards the 12k, but this Weaver might just be the key for Fnatic to turn everything back around.
Yeah. The Cuirass is done for Lifestealer. I think this is very useful, especially to bring down No-Tail quickly. Of course, when he has Ghost Scepter, their tools to kill him depreciate rapidly, except for OD. But I don't know, I still feel like one have a pretty good shot. I mean, they're ahead, the Lifestealer is huge, they have Vendetta. Here we go, they're gonna make another shot at it.
Yeah,
Fnatic
they don't
has
know,
Gem, they have
everybody's here though.
Sentry.
Oh, Bane already picked up, no feeds from this side. Look at No-Tail Abyss already dead! Lifestealer able to make it happen. BKB turned on by another bash! Triple kill by the Lifestealer. Looking for the next target. Hani tries to TP himself out. Looks like he's gonna be the lucky one. Era might be able to get himself out. Shakushi's himself away. And that is gonna be a 3 down for 1. Nyx Assassin. Another worthy trade going the way of 1. But again, they do not get Era.
Exactly. It's a good trade, but Weaver weaves his way away from it, and without him, they haven't solved Fnatic just yet, because that freaking Weaver just keeps escaping, and the lack of a gem hurts them so much. But honestly, Timbersaw, again, this offlane hero that starts rough, but as long as he's able to get that Bloodstone and stop dying, he can get big. He's got Travels, Blade Mail, Bloodstone. So, no joke from this guy. And with OD wending his way towards Scythe as well, I think Scythe will help a lot against Era.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Oh.
As for imprisonment, Era already Lincoln's pops, gets
They got the
telekinesis
lift.
still. They go for Fly first, Fly already dead, looking for Era next. Era who's looking for the Rubik who pops his Ghost Scepter there. Maybe they can get him, but the Shakushi way, Timbersaw might be able to slow him down, but they don't have detection, so
No
they'll not
gem.
be able to. No gem.
I actually think
The
that
key.
going for Bane there was a mistake. They should have, when they saw the telekinesis was nearly perfect, and I feel that they could have gotten Era in that time span. But I mean, it's tough, and they did get the tier 2. So I mean, they're hanging on in terms of preserving their advantage and retaining an ability to just take it over Fnatic. And Era still hasn't. I mean, we say that they haven't solved Era, but Era definitely hasn't solved Lifestealer. He's huge. He
He
can
is
replace his
huge.
Midas with something next.
Yeah, we have got a 3rd gem bought by the Nyx Assassin. So all gems in the game are actually bought by him. So he just bought a 3rd one, which is very, very friendly of him for his team. But he's making a lot of plays. I have to just point out though that this Rubik is making a lot of plays as well. And it is a pretty impressive Rubik, I have to say. He's been able to, like, not the steals or anything like that, just overall play.
The steals
In
have
a
been
team
good
fight,
too.
just the clutchness.
For sure. The clutch.
I don't know.
The clutchness,
Clutchness.
yeah.
Just a clutchness.
Clutchness has been good. He's got Vac right now, so that's also really good against Weaver. He's had Shukachi several times. Oh! Perfect Michael skills. from
Yep.
No-Tail.
Just spam that Blink Dagger.
He spammed the hell out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Another infested
I don't
Lifestealer.
know. I do think that Fnatic don't have a way to win just yet. They have a good split pusher in the form of the Weaver, but the Shadow Fiend is a walking, like, try to cast your ult and not do it because you get bashed machine.
Yeah, they gotta look for another target here.
He hasn't gotten an ult off in
Yeah, well,
3 fights because
The
Lifestealer has
bashes.
auto-bashed him. I mean, he's gotten ults off, but they're, you know, the consolation ults.
well, there's 4 heroes on the top lane. The only one that we're missing is Hani on his Enchantress. And I think that one will be on...
Timbersaw's, sorry, so Timbersaw's armor with 16 stacks of reactive, now that he has plate mail, and when you add the, he has like 50 armor with the Soul Cuirass, which is crazy. How do you kill him as Weaver with 50 armor?
I don't know, but then again, his Blade Mail will not be as effective. He might be bait here, by
That's
the way.
true.
They're
Blade
gonna
Mail's
try and go for him.
equity
They show
stuff.
Weaver. In comes the Fiend's Grip. In comes the No-Till BKB Requiem of Souls. That's already one Timbersaw down. Vacuum is still there from the Rubik. Down goes the Bane already. Lifestealer able to pick him up. Air actually drops. They get him with the Abyssal being used on him. Looking for more targets. Blink away from No-Till. Knows that he has to TP's himself out. Trixie will be the next target. In comes the Timbersaw. Bought himself back. And the gem will get picked up by the Rubik. One of the 3 is at least back in the hands of one. They're still chasing down Hani. Is there going to be an Impale? There's at least going to be telekinesis. No Impale needed. Hani burn out of mana and picked up as well. Brilliant fight coming up from one who only lost a Timbersaw. Was brilliant bait.
He did a really good job of baiting Fnatic. Fnatic, yeah, I mean, kind of getting a little bit out cleverness by... Wow, both of our vocabularies are just falling apart. This is utter freaking misery. But it's okay. I mean, they're going to take a cheese Aegis. Cheese Roshan. I hate my life.
You know what?
The main thing from that fight, more than anything, is the gem.
I know what
And
it
they
is the
sent it
cause.
away on the courier, which is intriguing.
So we have casted way more than 5 games in a row before. No problem.
Yes.
But the games that we've casted today have been all so intense Like
Yes.
seriously, the games for Starlight were so long and intense,
were.
like the whole way through. And this one, same story. I mean, we're not ending on a stump, which I think a lot of people
No.
were expecting, by the way.
Yes. Weren't we kind of expecting it?
I was.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I have to say I'm impressed. They gained a fan. I think they gained a lot of fans.
I think so too. Now they've got a cheese. I think it's still on the courier. Did they put cheese on somebody? Ah, yes, Timbersaw. Yes. This is really good. I think one should maybe just try to win now. This is the true test of a team.
You're saying they didn't try to win before? Nice.
Well, no, I mean they should try to end the game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make excuses for that one. That was fine.
Yeah,
what
I
I mean is that they should go to end the game right now. Don't let this run any longer. You have Aegis, you have cheese, you have everything you could want on Lifestealer. You have buybacks available for a lot of heroes. I don't know. I don't think Fnatic can stop this push necessarily. They have to really outplay. And the true mark of an underdog team is after you get the lead, how do you close?
Yeah.
And
Because
a lot of teams really struggle with closing it out.
Lifestealer able to solo backdoor towers. Fine. Timbersaw already cleaning out the quick wave. They're actually going to try to go for it bottom lane right now. They're forcing out TPs, perhaps. We have Darkseer
right
furthest away. He's already got his mechanism on cooldown, by the way, so he won't have that for the fight for another 20 seconds. In comes Era, maybe making
like his
something
talisman.
happen. Yeah,
I like Era's talisman a lot.
but there will still be an Abyssal, and then Talisman doesn't work, right? Or does it?
Yes, if you are disabled, then keep in mind there's a Scythe of Ice too.
Yeah.
So all they have to do is throw a Fade Bolt on Era, and then yes, there's the Deathblade. Not surprised. It's an important pickup.
Tier 3 tower will still go down, looking for the next one. Still we have the Nyx Assassin waiting for people to come in. Darkseer wall, vacuum, in comes the OG, turns on his BKB, but everybody runs from him. They could take down the Rex though. Why not? They're here anyway. Go for Era next. Era getting axed up. He's very fast. There goes the Sanity's Eclipse. Era back alive. Time lapses himself back to full health. BKB's all around. In comes No Tail with the Requiem of Souls. Era still taking a lot of damage for Lyra taking more though. Nice spike. Carapace stopping No Tail. Stopping No Tail. Killing No Tail. It's enough. They kill him off. They also have killed off the Bane. Everybody looking very low on one, but not low enough to back off from this base right now. They're just gonna take the racks, and that is what they came for. They can actually maybe try to rotate, knowing that the Shadow Fiend is on.
So
Was it
the
not
thing
having
with the
buyback?
rotation is the lanes are extremely pushed in because Hani got an illusion rune and has been using his illusions to tank the other
That's
two
gonna
lanes.
be a Rubik dead. Nicely done, Hani. Lifestealer. Oh, Abyssal up an arrow, bashed up an arrow about and they take him down! They take him down so fast. Buyback from the Rubik because he can be here again. Timbersaw
They're so
doesn't
low,
have his
though.
cheese anymore. Will end up going down from the the mechanism will be there. No tower hit to kill him off. I think they have to back off. Don't overextend right now. And Pill up and Trixie. They can kill off Trixie. They can kill off Trixie.
no.
Another gem
Keep
being
going.
added to the board.
They should just go for it. They're fine, I think.
I'm not sure though.
No,
Great
come on,
sap.
get hype, get hype.
And they're gonna go for it. They're gonna go for the tier 3. Who knows? The GG won't play it. Fnatic gets rolled over. No, not really, but they get defeated by one. One is the victor here, of course, in the EMS Cup. 2 in the round 2. This was the quarterfinals. Tomorrow will be the place for the semifinals and for the grand finals. But I think a lot of people will look at the brackets of tonight and say, wait, what? Who is that team that beat Fnatic? Well, this is the one, which is actually quite funny because actually EMS has got this whole thing about someone being the one. Instead of MVP, they have the one. Ta-da!
Enough. I'm late to a meeting. Bye.
Any shout outs or plugins?
No. Shoutouts to you, of course, Shiva. This was a great time. We've reached the highest and lowest points of Dota today. Everything from rage quitting to epic
Oh, we did, yeah.
Marana arrows and everything in between. Thanks so much to the viewers. Thanks, of course, to the tournament organizers. EMS especially playing really nicely with the fact that Starladder ran way over, but still letting us get some good casts in. And thanks, of course, to you, Shiva. People should follow me on Twitter, VYKROMOND. Bye. Thank you.
Have a good meeting, and of course for all the viewers as well, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us. Of course, if you want to support us even more, follow us on Twitter. As said, it is at Vikermont at Twitter. And for me, it's at Shiver Gaming on Twitter. So make sure you follow us, and make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have more games, starting off with Starladder. It starts at 1700 CEST time. Of course, for the Raycall EMS 1, the semi-finals, I believe, continue at 1900 CEST time. The brackets you can, of course, find on plenty of forums. I will link them in the chat in a moment as well. So make sure you check those out. And make sure you keep an eye on one, because this was definitely a great game from them, and I'm expecting to see maybe more of them as well. Anyways, let's jump ourselves out of this game, and we'll be right back.